If you don't, check down below in this video description and make a note that you'll watch that video immediately. It's incredibly, incredibly important that you do. So in that spirit, in that vein, what I want to do is I want to give you the advice that I didn't get but would have absolutely have saved me. So here it is. Step one is you start with online training. That's just the world. You found me online, so maybe doing a little bit more online training. So congratulations. Give yourself a homeschool high five because you're already doing it. You're doing it. Now I just want you to do a little bit more. Do some online training. Once you do enough of that, maybe you start to get an idea of like, all right, I think that this type of gun would be right for me. I just did a video on this. Make sure you check down below this video in the link to check out selecting the right firearm for you. So online training, now you get a gun, and then maybe you get a holster to go with it. At this point, you've done some learning, you've done some shopping. Now I'd like you to start wearing it on your body a little bit just to get used to it. Now some folks won't feel safe or comfortable with this, and so what I'd say is, hey, maybe if you carry it even unloaded. Some of my peers are just gonna freak out. It's like, whoa! I'm like, not forever, just to get you kind of more comfortable with it. You get a good holster and you start carrying it around. First few days, you just feel like a ninja. You're just walking around like, I am armed. Can everyone see? Can everyone tell? Am I walking different? Am I powerful? You'll feel different and weird, maybe unsafe a little bit, but you're doing that in a real safe way to carry without around in the actual chamber of the gun. Now, what's good to start with, just to get that base level of comfort and to figure out how you should be carrying it and what works for you. What's okay in the beginning isn't okay to keep going. My goal is for you to be immediately ready to defend life. And in that condition, I think it's a mistake to keep going that way. But already you're walking around without a gun on you, so having a gun without a round in the chamber, it's not much different, except you could draw, rack the slide, and then be ready to work. Now, after you've carried it a little bit, you've validated your purchases, and you're like, you know, I like this gun. I like this holster. And guess what? I can carry on my body comfortably and concealed, and it's not such a big deal. I know what the universal firearm safety rules are, and I'm living by them already. Now it's time to really start doing some more training. Now, you can up the ante with your learning and your online training. You could go to somebody like us. This is a shameless plug, and some of you will just render your garments on the internet like, how dare you plug your own class? I have a full Pistol 1 and Pistol 2 and Pistol 3 class on our streaming service and app. I'm promoting it because I think it is the best online training you can possibly get. That's why we made it. It really is extremely good. And I think that you should go join our WPSN app. Watch WPSN.com. Watch it. Now, we're not the only game in town. There's other places where that you can do that learning. So if you want to go elsewhere, do it. But I really think that you should do that online training. There's so many good tools available. Now that I've said that, I'll also add, as a nice caveat emptor, there's no substitute for actual in-person physical training. Maybe you do some online training with us, watch our class. Now it's time to get out on the range and start trying some stuff.
I'm not military.
Start shooting.
I'm probably not as in physical shape.
Now, some folks would immediately say, like, no, get a gun and immediately hit the range. And you can do it that way, but the problem is from the moment you first interact with a gun and you grip it and you shoot it, you are paving neurological pathways in your conscious and subconscious that are extremely hard habits to break should they be bad ones. And I guarantee you, a lot of them are bad habits. That means later an instructor is going to have to fix you, and it would be better for someone like me to get a blank slate than have to undo a bunch of stuff that you were doing on your own that you didn't even realize was a bad thing. There's untold amounts of training
then you're not doing the string theory physics to it.
Warrior Post Society for in-person training that we have to undo, and a lot of times people have been shooting for a very long time.
Lagrangian
it's incredibly
is
hard
any
to get
field
them better because I have to, like,
does
demo
a training in.
foundational work that they've
Jiu-jitsu,
done before.
weapons
It's like I
training,
can't
they're
build
both
a
the same thing,
skyscraper
with
on
different
that
numbers.
foundation. It won't support it. I got to demo it, refix it, and now I build on it. It would be better if you just
existential
didn't do it in the first
cosmological
place.
crisis.
So I encourage you to just get out on the range and start shooting with some of the stuff that you've learned online. In my experience, women particularly who are a little bit reticent to go to a range that's already an intimidating thing, indoor ranges with all the gunfire, that could be a pretty crappy experience.
Out of the calculus women that are physically
scary,
in
bang,
a training
bang,
course,
everywhere.
and then there's
so I really
advanced
like
levels
outdoor
of
ranges
it.
for the gals. If you can find anybody who has farmland,
you are
something
the
with,
black body
where you can shoot, that's a much better experience. I highly encourage you to do that.
Which
now,
is
depending on your level of online training and your comfort and shooting, you want to do enough work there But you don't want to wait too long before you actually get in a formal class.
If I told you I'm bringing a bazooka to the mission, what would you tell me?
What I can do for you is in a few minutes get you better than you would get in years on your own. Now that seems like a hard sell, like really, that sounds arrogant. I'm like, you can take it arrogant if you want, but it's true. I've validated it over and over and over. I will save you thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Now, I'm not just self-aggrandizing of like, this is a big commercial for your own stuff. Hey, troll off, man. There's a lot of great trainers out there.
Right
There's some that are in your local area, perhaps. Some will be really bad, some will be really good.
It's not to have them beat. It's to have them beat to that social calc. There's only so many numbers that have the field done. Either they have to redo it,
that have good training as well.
get a decoherence in the box,
snub your nose at me and say, I don't want to train with you. Like, great,
you have to play it like Carl Sagan, nuking Mars with fog on the chessboard. Those numbers check out.
Really, really helpful. You got to do it to be like, he was right. I'm like, of course I'm right. This is my profession. We do training. We're good at it.
I'm a stonemason.
And we
I have
care about
stonemason's
you and
hands.
want you to be able to cover down as good warrior poets, protecting life, holding the line so that if something bad happened in your area, you don't have notional check-the-block security. You're actually able to defend life. You're a good protector, a force for good in a broken world. I like that. And that's my big goal. If I want you trained up and ready. So for instance, some things I wish I had known. I wish I known that I needed a form-fit kind of like Kydex holster that protected the trigger guard. Some of my earliest holsters were downright unsafe and something terrible